Mike Schur, who created The Good Place, and who you had worked with before. You had worked with him on Parks, but he had this idea really laid out, and I think he knew from the beginning that this would not be a show that would be on in
forever.
perpetuity.
He's like, this show one day is going to end, and I was like, be optimistic. Yeah, he did. He always had an idea of how it was going to end. I don't think any of us foresaw it happening so quickly.
Yep.
But the reality is, you know, as in television, most writers in television, you guys, like episode 17 through 21, they're like, it's fluff, just get us to the ending.
Yeah.
So I really like these encapsulated seasons where it's 12 or 13 episodes, it gets people to watch. He figured out what the ending should be, and he thought we could draw it on forever, and some people might taper off because, you know, next episode, Jason loses his shoes. Like, you don't want to follow that plot line. But it's also a little bit of a metaphor about the human experience, is that it's over too soon and it leaves you wanting a lot more.
And it will be very, I'm excited to watch it, but also we're going to then live talk about it. I'm going to host a thing with you and the rest of the cast, which I'm very excited.
You're doing
It'll
that.
be a blast.
All of us will be here. We'll all be like crazy weeping, especially Darcy. Watch it, if anything, for the way Darcy cries. It's so cute.
One of the things, because I have heard, obviously, people my age love this show, but I've heard that kids love this show because it talks about a lot of things that people don't know how to talk to kids about. Things like death and what happens when a loved one moves on.
Yeah.
Is this something, have you started talking to your kids about that yet? Is that...
Yeah, we did have actually, our daughter, when she was 5, said, am I gonna die? And we both, like, the air got sucked out of the room, and we were like, this is it. What do we do? There are so many roads. Like, do we make up a story? Do we say we don't know? Do we say we know and then actually not know? And we just said, yes, you're gonna die. And she went, oh. And then we said, and we really don't know what happens when you die. You may just become flowers. And she went, okay. And we were like so relieved because we did make a commitment never to lie to them.
Sure.
And that's like controversial because they asked about Santa Claus and I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
He's dead.
He's dead. We don't know. He's flowers. Now he's flowers. But I think because of that, our kids have adopted this very practical sense about the world. And so, like, recently, their grandfather was dying, and he's already passed, but while he was dying, my little girl was in the back, and she said, so when Papa dies, because we knew it was days, are we gonna come to Oregon with you? And I was like, yeah, you'll come. And she said, okay, do you need to bring my shovel? Because I have a garden set. And I said, why would you pack your shovel, honey? She goes, well, I want to help bury him. Where do we do it? The side of the house or... Like, so practical and, like, wanted to help. And then I had to explain to her, and we don't bury him on the side of the house because that's not legal. But she genuinely wanted to, like, bury her grandfather. And I thought, like, there's something oddly beautiful about that. Like, she's a younger member of the family contributing to an older member's peaceful passing on.
It is, yes, there's a real circle of life to that.
Some people could say she's a sociopath.
Yes.
I'm not going down that road.
And you certainly, I think it would have been worth hearing what she was saying as she was throwing dirt on.
Right,
you know, that might have
sure.
revealed, like, a lot more than what we're talking about now. It is so wonderful to have you here. I'm going to see you tomorrow. I can't wait for that. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of that. Kristen Bell, everybody.